Morning, church. Nick here for morning devotions. We're in Mark chapter 7. Have you ever come across sacred cows that you or other people have? Have you noticed that at the moment there's all these new social etiquettes going on about how close we stand to people, how we walk down the street? I was down at the beach the other day and I sneezed. And you would have thought by the looks of horror on other people's faces like I was down the beach clubbing baby seals to death. But you know, Christians, we have a lot, if we're going to admit it, actually, we have a lot of sacred cows, things that we think should be beyond question. No one's allowed to ask that. No one's allowed to question that. I was running a surf competition a few years ago, and it was called the Jesus Pro-Am. It was an outreach competition. Most of the people who came, 95% of the people who came and surfed in it, would not know Jesus except as a cuss word. But I was having negotiations with one of the sponsors, and everything was going well, I thought, until they said, well, hang on, when are you running this competition? And I told them it was over the Saturday and the Sunday, and they said, no, we can't do that on the Sabbath. And I'm like, what? But this is an outreach competition. And they're like, yeah, well, we can't do that. You should be resting on the Sabbath. And they ended up walking. Now, the thing is, the worst part about that was not that I felt judged by them, though I did. The worst part about it was that I judged them because of their judgmentalism. Isn't it ironic? In Mark chapter 7, Jesus has a confrontation with some Pharisees. They say to him, why is it that your followers are not cleaning themselves like they were meant to? We know because as a church we've been reading through Leviticus, all the specific laws about purity. And Jesus says to them, Isaiah the prophet was right when he said that these people honor me with their mouths and worship me with their lips, but their hearts are far from me. Their worship of me is made up only of rules taught by men. And he goes on and he says, you have let go of the commands of God and are holding on to human traditions. Human traditions that we prop up, that we think are more important than the commands of God. And every Christian, every church all over the world has all these little rules, these little texts and subtexts and all these things that we do. Jesus challenges that. He challenges these guys. First, he talks about their hypocrisy. He talks and he brings out a clear case of where they'd been hypocritical and actually gone against their law that they said they believed in because of human tradition. And then secondarily, he says this, and this is a challenge for today. Nothing outside a person can defile them going into them. Rather, it's what comes out of a person that defiles them. And a little later, he says, for it's from within, out of a person's heart, that evil thoughts come. Thoughts like this. And so if anyone out there has ever, for any part of their life, had any thoughts that pertain to any of these, then this is for you. Sexual immorality, theft, murder, adultery, greed, malice, deceit, lewdness, envy, slander, arrogance, and folly. Oh my goodness. Every single one of those I've had at least thoughts about. Houston, we have a problem. San Diego, we have a problem. Nick Gilmour, he has a problem. Here's my thought as we end. It's not a big thought. It's a simple thought. All the Jews hearing Jesus quote out of Isaiah would have known what came next. In that passage from Isaiah, even though their worship is made up only of rules taught by men, God says, therefore, once more, I will astound these people with wonder upon wonder. The wisdom of the wise will perish. The intelligence of the intelligent will vanish. So here's what it is, friends. I pray that today, every single one of us would know that in fact we are defiled, would know that we fall short of a God of infinite love, and actually that we would allow him today to astound us with wonder upon wonder as we come before his grace. Be blessed.